So friends have been telling the stories of Rabbi Moishe says something, I want you to see him. This is pretty much when he came out of Russia, as we remember him in 770. He was a colorful figure. And so we're telling the story, we told the stories of the Simchas Torah in Siberia, but this is the story of his actual arrest, which we're in the middle of. He was a Jew, absolutely no nonsense Jew. Through and through. Chassid. Sidus Nefesh, Pshitus, Emunah. Okay, so the story, continuing the story of his arrest. So, as we said yesterday, so he was involved in the false passports, in getting the Lubavitchers out of Russia in that window of opportunity after the war. And they were all assuming the passports of the Yidden, Polish Yidden that were killed. So eventually the Russian government caught up with it, and he was arrested. Now here's the story. So Thursday night before he was arrested, Rabbi had a strange dream in which he was arrested and placed under heavy guard, forced to wait until someone later, another guard, came and freed him through a second door. Now it's Friday morning, he's walking on the street. And he's thinking about his strange and frightening dream. As he was contemplating it, even though he was sure it was just a meaningless nightmare, Rabbi was saying the tefillah that a Jew says when he has an unpleasant dream. It used to be in the back of the siddur, but it's not in the siddur anymore. Chal matova chazir say so a bad dream. It's a whole thing that you say in front of three people. It's a tefillah, you could say it even on your own. So as he finished saying the tefillah, he stopped by an officer, KGB officer, papers. Brought to KGB headquarters in the infamous black car, which was used for prisoners. It seems that the dream was kind of, heaven was preparing him. They listened to the interrogation. And the KGB officers, Rabbi was immediately brought into interrogation, where the agents didn't hold back. This is a quote what they said to him. You should know that since Schneerson left Russia, you as his agent are standing in judgment in his place, barked the interrogator. But Rabbi did not respond. Tell me, who is the tzaddik currently in Russia? Continued the interrogator belligerently. Rabbi replied, there's no such person. Since Rabbi Schneerson is currently in New York, it's 1950. Correct. But if there are Chassidim still in Russia, there must be a tzaddik here as well. Reasoned the interrogator smugly. I'm just quoting. But Rabbi did not reply. As the interrogator continued, and Rabbi did not answer to the KGB to the KGB satisfaction, the officer grew more and more furious, until in a fit of rage, he threw off Rabbi's hat. Without my hat, don't expect me to speak. He's talking. That's Rabbi's response calmly. If I return it, you'll speak? Rabbi says yes. So he gives him his hat. And then the interrogator asks him again, very aggressively, who's the current tzaddik in Russia? So Rabbi says, me, with a smile. This infuriates the interrogator, and he says these words, which Rabbi was so proud of. He told the story, this is the main thing of the story. You're a dog. Schneerson is a tzaddik. After a pause, during which he gathered himself once more, the interrogator reasoned that if there is no tzaddik in Russia, then there has to be at least a place where Chassidim Fabreh. Rabbi denied his claim, telling him that Chassidim never met. It's impossible that Chassidim don't get together. You're a liar. He began to curse him, Hashem, and the Rebbe. Interrupting his long and blasphemous tirade, Rabbi firmly told the officer that if Hashem didn't give rain, even the KGB couldn't be able to exist. So he tells him, very well, I'm going to write in your report that you spoke against the Russian government, that you said it's impossible to live in Russia and you must travel to Israel. That's already a crime. He said, I never said such a word. And then in Russia, they punish citizens for things they didn't say. After seeing he could make any progress with Rabbi, the interrogator began writing up a long report and said to the officer, the senior officer, I can't work with such a person. And in the end, because he refused, this was the final thing they don't write about, who were the other Chassidim that are involved in the Russian Lubavitch underground, he refused to divulge. He was sentenced to 10 years of hard labor Siberia. That was his end. So a little insight into the Azoy und nicht anders of a Chassid. Okay, friends.